OpenAI just released the Codex Mac app. It's not just another coding assistant, it's a command center for AI agents running real work in parallel. Now, a lot of people are talking about Claude Code and other vibe coding tools, but those in the know have been quietly moving over to Codex. And now, with this Mac app, it's finally accessible to everyone. You don't have to live in a terminal, you could just install it and start using it. So, in this video, I'm testing it live. We're going to have an empty repo. We're going to do everything through one prompt, no hidden retries. So, I'm going to try cloning a real website using just a URL. I'm going to try to recreate a Flappy Bird style game and stick around till the end because I'm going to have it build a prototype of a first person Doom style infinite corridor game in something called 3JS, which I've never done before. We're going to do it with just a prompt, no assets provided. It's just 3D logic based on the prompt. And we'll see if it could actually pull it off, because if it works, we are in a whole new world. So with that, let's jump in. All right, but wait, before we get there, if you like this video, please go ahead, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I love hearing from you, and definitely subscribe so we could see each other again. Now for real, let's jump in. All right, well, we're gonna start by downloading the Codex app. It's actually super easy to do. This is only for Mac right now, but the way you do it is you go to openai.com/index/introducing the Codex app. There might be another way to get there, but that's the way I know about. I'm going to put the link in the description so you can get it easily. You'll see this button here that says download for Mac. You go ahead and download that. It creates a DMG called Codex. So you just drag it into applications, let go, and then that will install it. So once you have Codex installed, you then just open up the application and you'll be greeted like a screen just like this. This one says it's promoting GPT 5.3 Codex, which is the name of the LLM that the Codex app on the Mac uses. Codex is kind of a confusing word because it means a bunch of different things to OpenAI. But anyway, so I'll say try using 5.3 now. So there's different projects. When you get in here, you won't have any threads or any projects. We're going to create a new one. All right, so we're going to create a new project called Codex Demo 1. So we have that now. Cool. So what shall we do? That gives you a couple of options. Build a classic snake game, just some examples. But I have one in mind that I'm going to do. And before we do that, I'm going to update the app. So let's do that now. Cool. So Codex is updated. So you'll see on the left, you have these threads here, which are basically projects. I created this one called Codex Demo 1. And basically what that'll do, let me collapse these. What that'll do is it actually creates a folder, and then I can create a Git repository, as you see here on the right. Right now there's no repository, so this is like an empty project that I'm starting with. The only other thing you really should know about is if you look at the bottom here, there's this thing that says default permissions. That's what it'll be set at by default. I'm running right now with full access just because it's faster. And I don't really have security stuff to worry about on this machine. There are some risks, so just basically use that at your own caution. But basically, otherwise it runs everything in like a sandbox mode. So what we're going to try to do is there's this website I think is pretty cool called Markdown Live Previewer. Markdown Live Previewer. And what it'll do is it can take Markdown, which is this stuff over here. This is Markdown. And the way Markdown works is there's these tags. It's like a plain text file, but then you'll see on the right, it formats. So basically, you could do things like put 2 of them, and it'll change it's like changing the heading size depending on how many of these hashtags there are. So this is a convenient way to view and preview Markdown. It has dark mode, has sync scrolling, so when you scroll, whatever you have on the left will appear on the right. And on the right is really kind of like a preview of what you're going to see. So basically, you could just paste Markdown in here, and it's convenient. So it's called markdownlivepreview.com. I want to see, it's a very simple thing. So I want to see, can we just copy this exactly? And I'm going to see if Codex can one-shot copy this Markdown preview site. So let's give it a try. So I'm going to copy this URL here, and I'm going to say, okay, so I'm saying, please create an exact clone of markdownlivepreview.com. It should all run using nothing but client-side JavaScript and make it a Next.js app for convenience and upgradability. Now, some people will be like, oh my God, why would you do Next.js if it's just local JavaScript? It's because we want to do something else with it later. So that's the reason why. And then I'm going to try deploying this to Vercel if it does work. So anyway, let's see what happens. We're going to let this thing run. Oh yeah, and you can set the reasoning effort, the model here. And so I'm going to make this extra high. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a little more explicit. I'm going to say, so I'm saying it should have the exact same left-right display, copy, sync scroll, and dark mode. I'm going to tell it, don't worry about PDF output, because that might be a little harder. So I'm going to say, don't do this export PDF stuff. So let's see if it can do it. And I have it on extra high, and we're going to let it rip. Here we go. So it says that it understood what the instructions were. It says the repository is empty, so I'm going to scaffold it from scratch. Next, I'm pulling the live site's HTML, CSS, JS to mirror its layout. I extracted the page's structure. Now I have the exact style sheet and Markdown theme files. Pulling the app bundle next to replicate key behavior. So we'll see what happens. So now it's actually creating the project, npx create. Scaffold Next.js app in this folder, recreate the exact 2-pane layout. Use Monaco editor, marked and DOM purify on the client. Import the same persistence and interaction behaviors. Let's see how it works. All right, well, it seems to have finished. So I'll just tell you what it did. It, yeah, we left off where it was getting the style sheets. It got the page structure, did the 2-pane layout, excluded the PDF thing that we said not to do, then did the whole like Next.js project. And then it went through a bunch of building tests. So it had to do a production builds were passing. Then it caught some linting errors, which is just like some strict formatting stuff that TypeScript can be strict about. Went through, fixed all that stuff, and then did it. So from the instructions, it did the whole thing. It tells us how to build it. So let's go ahead and run it and see what happens. So yeah, hopefully you could see that. So I will go. Okay. So basically this is what it just did. I'm going to do npm run dev. Now it's running on port 3000. All right, here we go. Drum roll, please. Let's see what happens. That's pretty amazing, huh? So let's grab some Markdown from over here. Let's turn this on dark mode. I mean, that's crazy. Look at this. So this is the cool thing is I don't even know how this works. But basically we were doing this. So let's see if we put, yep, just like we were doing over here. Now let's see side by side. I mean, it's not even close to being a clone. It is like literally a clone. Let's get rid of this line. Let's put them side by side. Let's put the cursor up here. Put the cursor up here. Can you tell the difference at all? I can't, except the export PDF thing is gone that we told to get rid of. Dark mode off, dark mode off. So this is why everyone's talking about Codex right now. And you might not know that everyone's talking about Codex, but they are. So this is where it's at. Sorry. This is where, oh, let's put sync scroll on. Let's test that out. Boom. Fantastic. So the cool thing is I could, right now, if I wanted to deploy this to Vercel, and it would be up and running. I mean, that was like a compelling example. We just gave it a URL. This is the entire prompt. Okay. From that, it created an exact clone. Absolutely perfect in all ways, and even got rid of the part I told it to. So I might deploy that later just to let you play with it. But anyway, so, what goes through my mind when I look at this is that you can build a bunch of tools relatively easily. You could take a long tail of SEO optimized type tools that people would use for different things and just create not exact clones of them like this, but you could create inspired versions of them and then SEO optimize them and then use that to make money. So I think it's absolutely amazing. So anyway, that was the first example. Now we're going to give it something a little bit harder. There's a game called Flappy Bird. you might know about this game. You basically just hit the space bar and the bird goes up and down. There's these pipes. So what I'm going to have it do is I'm going to try to create a clone or create a Flappy Bird inspired game in the browser that will, instead of having all these graphics, I'm going to have it just be blocks, but have it be functional where you hit the space bar and when you die, it tells you you're dead and then you can restart. So let's see if it can do that as a one-shot type thing. So Flappy, I'll call it not Flappy because it's not actually Flappy. Great. So here we go. Okay, here's the prompt. Create a Flappy Bird inspired game. Do not bother with duplicating graphics. Instead, just use blocks and rectangles to represent the bird and the pipes. Otherwise, keep all the game dynamics exactly the same. Score based on distance traveled. Spacebar to start with message. Spacebar to make bird represented by a block flap. Collision detection on pipes, which are rectangles. High score tracking. Build this any way you'd like, but make sure it runs on a desktop browser. So let's let it rip, see what happens. So it says I'll scaffold this directly in the current workspace. HTML, CSS, JS. Check the repo. The repo is empty. So it's doing a self-contained web app, which is just 3 files, HTML, CSS, and the game JS, which will be probably all the logic of the game. It's using local storage for the high score and canvas rendering. Well, let's let it run and see what happens. All right, folks. Well, it says it's done. So it said it's going to scaffold it directly in the workspace. Core files are in place. And it said implement a desktop browser Flappy style game using only rectangles and blocks. There's 3 files. What's included? Spacebar start screen message. Press space to start. Blah, 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 blah. Run it. Okay, so there's 2 ways. One, you could just open the index file in the browser, which is what I'm going to do. Or you can run a web server if you wanted to. So let's just open the file in the browser and see what happens. Okay, here's not Flappy. There it is. So let's see if it works. Press space bar, press space to start. Space also makes the bird flap. Here we go. Wow. This is amazing. Oh, I died. And look, it kept checking my high score. This is amazing. I really think this is amazing. I can't believe it did this on just one try. I know you guys are getting sick of watching me do this, but let's see. Oh, okay. So high score 276. Oh, by the way, try out the game. I'm going to upload it. The links will be in the description. I want to see what your high score is. Let me know what your high score is in the comments. Mine is 276. I'm sure I could do better if I wasn't in the process of actually making a YouTube video. But anyway, that's it. I'm super impressed. So that is not Flappy. One-shotted. It gave it color, which I didn't even ask for. So I think it looks pretty good, but it's exactly what I asked for. All right, well, those 2 were awesome. Flappy Birds came out great. The copy of the Markdown site was great, but I want to really push Codex to the limit. There's something called 3JS, which is it's like a 3D JavaScript 3D library for the web. They'll let you generate 3D graphics and animations and stuff. So I've written this crazy prompt. So when I say I've written, I'm kind of lying a little bit ahead. Okay, let's do 3JS demo. When I say I built it, actually, I created a prompt using AI. So build a single page website in 3JS, no external assets that feels like an impossible infinite room. Goal: when the user holds W, move forward. The camera moves forward down a hallway. After 15 seconds of continuous movement, the user should realize they're looping back to the start without a hard cut. Blah, 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 blah. So it's like some sort of mind warp animation thing. So I've never done one of these before. I've never in my life used 3JS, but I have seen what it can do, and it's super impressive. There's a bunch of examples here. I'll put Three.js in the link in the description, so you could click it and check it out. But anyway, I have two prompts. We're gonna try this first one. If it's good enough, we're just gonna use this one. Otherwise, I'll try a second one. But let's see what it comes up with, and I have it on extra high, so let's let it run and see what happens. So it says all scaffold of height, Three.js, single page app and workspace, then implement movement controls, modular hallway recycling, and the loop illusion with seam safe segment updates. So I've not given it any assets. It's going to have to figure out how to make this stuff. I don't know how it's going to do that or if it can, but we will see. So I'm going to let this run and then we'll check it out when it's done. All right, well, it says it's done. So there's the original prompt. Installed the dependencies. The core scene logic is in place. I finished the UI layer and documentation. Some refinement on heads-up display requirements. Builds passed. And it basically says, here's what you got to do to run it. So I don't even know exactly what the original prompt was, to be honest, because I generated it. But let's see. All right, so we're in the Three.js demo folder that I created, npm run dev. Should run. It's on port 5173. I mean, hopefully this is good. I literally don't know. I've never done one of these before. So like I said, we're trying to push it to the limit. Let's see what happens. Ready? Here we go. Impossible infinite. Okay, WSD to move. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Womp, 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 womp. Oh, escape to unlock. No? So it's got a bug. Let's see what the console says. All right. When I try to start. You know, let me try npm install real quick. Yeah, doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to give it this feedback. See what happens. All right, so I gave it the error. It says there's a bug in transform dummy is used while segments are being created, but it's declared later. So it's some ordering of something. Confirm the cause. All right. So we're going to try it again. Okay. And we're going to, oops. Gotta get the URL. Let's see what happens. Ready, go. Wow. I don't know if you could see this. It's pretty dark. You've been here. I'm using like the mouse and the W key. First door. You have been here. Echo has arrived first. So basically it's just, I don't know where I got all these messages from, but basically it is, it's just looping forever. This corridor never ends. Keep walking. Wow. So, yeah, I'd like to brighten this up, but I don't know why it's writing like what, forward is a circle. No first door. Forward is a circle. The wall moved. Anyway, oh, what is this dream mode thing? How can I click the dream mode button? I don't know how I could click it. But anyway, 60 frames a second. Anyway, this is wild. So, what do we think of Codex Mac? I think it's amazing. The Codex name is very confusing because it is both a LLM. You know, this is GPT 5.3 Codex, which is a model from OpenAI. It is also the name of a cloud service that is inside of ChatGPT called Codex. It's also the name of a CLI, command line interface, that you can use to do code on your computer, in your terminal. And now it's also the name of an app on your Mac. But I think this is amazing. It's a very good competitor to Claude Code. I think it's people are saying it's better than Claude Code. We'll see. There's a lot of other things you could do in here, like skills and automations. You could have things run at a certain time. We could get all into that at a different time. Let me know what you think about this. If there's other stuff you want me to cover in a future video, definitely let me know. But if you liked this video, please go ahead, give it a thumbs up. I love the support. Give me a comment. I want to hear from you, and definitely subscribe to the channel so I could see you again. I love seeing you guys. I really appreciate everything, and I will catch you next time. Thanks.